Welcome back to day 2 of reviewing the Battle of the Brits tournament and also previewing today's action. I just want to kick off again talking about the actual tournament itself. I think it's still going fantastically well. I think yesterday sort of highlighted the importance of having these events when you look at upcoming British players. Ryan Penniston was drafted in late yesterday after Jack Draper's injury. We're also going to get to see Paul Jubb today, who is another young British talent, and I think it's just important these players get this sort of exposure, being on TV, playing the likes of Andy and Dan Evans and Kyle Edmund, and if they're playing them sort of tournaments, you're watching for the stars, but you're also watching for the future. And I saw a lot of people yesterday, on Twitter and Instagram saying, it's the first time I've seen Ryan Penniston. I heard about him, and I'm really impressed with how he's playing, and I'm going to start following his career. And I think that's massively important for British tennis. As I've said before, I don't think our players sort of get the recognition or the media exposure that they all deserve, and that is something I'm trying to change. But I think these sort of events are a fantastic way of doing that. They just sort of highlight their careers, what they've won, how they've made it into pro tennis, and also you get a chance to watch them and hopefully follow their careers, follow them on social media, and then that way British tennis improves as a whole. The more players we can get towards the top of the rankings, the more inspirational figures and flag bearers of British tennis that we have, and then children can aspire to be like those, or even speak to the players about the routes into tennis. I know a lot of our players have moved over to America, and they can give lots of different advice to junior players. I just feel it's massively important, and I was pleased to hear that Ryan Penniston played very well yesterday, and that a lot of players enjoyed his game style and will hopefully follow up of his matches and results from now on. And also on the tournament, they're raising at least £100,000 for NHS charities. So I think Jamie Murray's done fantastically well to even put the tournament together, but also raising money for charity and getting eyes on British tennis is fantastic, really, and something he deserves a lot of credit for. I just think it's important to sort of keep up this momentum. After this, as I said, with chance we're going to get to see Paul Jubb against Ryan Penniston today, and we would have got to see Jack Draper and Jay Clark if they hadn't had to unfortunately withdraw with injury. But the Progress Tour, there's women's events coming up in a couple of weeks' time. We've got a lot of young talented British women's players as well, so make sure you tune into them events if they are televised, or follow the results. I'll be doing videos on them tournaments as well, so check them out. But I think important is to keep the momentum. Make sure you're following all the players on social media, and next year hopefully we're back to a full schedule and the players are all playing again. Then you can tune in and really follow the careers and see where they all progress to. So looking back at yesterday's action, James Ward beat Liam Brodie in straight sets, and I think James Ward was just more suited to the hard court. He served very well, he's got a very big game style, and he just sort of out-hit Liam Brodie. He has spent a lot of time on court, James Ward, so he's probably used to the pace of the court and the bounce of the ball better than what Liam is. But he played very well, James Ward, and he's given himself a chance to progress into the semi-final if he beats Andy Murray today. Moving on to Cam Norrie against Ryan Penniston, and this was arguably match of the day for me. I mean, we know Edmund and Murray was probably the highest quality match, but in terms of being interested in watching new players, Ryan Penniston is a player I've watched a few times before, and I've been lucky enough to interview him, and I do think he's got a big career ahead of him. He was ranked 393 coming into yesterday's match, and he definitely outplayed that ranking, and he's definitely a lot better than that ranking. He's stuck with Cam Norrie, who's in the top 100 and who's had a fantastic 2019, and considering Penniston was playing his first match in a while, and was drafted at the tournament very late, he battled incredibly well. He took the opening set 6-3, and I think he sort of ran out of gas in that second set. Norrie improved, he began to hit the ball cleaner, and he worked his opponent out, and he did play some very good tennis in the second set, Cam Norrie, in the deciding tie break. But I think Penniston did run out of gas, which is understandable. He hasn't been in the court for a long time. He put a lot into that opening set, and he took a set for a top 100 player, which I'm sure he's very happy with. And for Penniston, it's going to be a fantastic experience this week to share the court with the likes of Cam Norrie, and also be around the likes of Dan Evans and Edmund and Andy Murray. You can only learn from them sort of players. but I do think Edmund is a player with a Penniston, sorry, is a player with a big future. Still only 23 or 24, as I say, ranked 393, but he did start his pro career only last year or the year before, due to being in America and playing for Memphis in US college tennis, so he is sort of still catching up on the pro tour, and I can see him being inside the top 200 hopefully this time next year. But yeah, it was a fantastic performance in Penniston, and as I say, he sort of came on and people straight away enjoyed the way he was playing. He's got the heavy ground strokes, he served very well, moved quick around the court, and I saw a lot of people on Twitter, saying, it's the first time I've seen Ryan Penniston, and I'll be looking to follow his career in the future, which is exactly what we need from these events. And today we get to see Paul Jubb against Ryan Penniston, which will be a fantastic match, and they're both up and coming talents, so hopefully they both perform very well and come out of the match in full health and with a lot of more new supporters. Edmund against Andy Murray was, a great match. There wasn't many breaks of serve as you'd expect. Kyle Edmund's put on 4 kilograms of muscle in the lockdown, and I hope Kyle does well. Post lockdown and when tennis is resumed, and I always want Kyle to do well because he's British, but I like to see players that have shown to be working hard during lockdown. He's clearly worked on part of his game and developed his physical strength, and I like to see that pay off for players if they really put in the effort. It's nice to see that bear fruit, and for him to beat Andy Murray is a massive confidence booster. Edmund took the opening set Andy Murray took the opening set on a tie break before Edmund levelled with another tie break, and I think by the match tie break Andy was struggling physically, and Edmund took advantage of that. He raced into a 5-1 lead and eventually took it 10-5 in the match deciding tie break. But again, massive positives for Andy. It's the first time he's been on court at this event in this year, and to be sort of mixing it and really challenging and taking sets off a top 20 player just goes to show how good Andy is. He's clearly not at fully fitness yet, but when Andy's played 3 or 4 events and played consecutively for a good month or two, and he's back to that 90-100% fitness, he is capable of still challenging with the best players in the world. But I thought it was a good game yesterday for both players. Edmund really displayed his form and his power from the back of the court. He had some fantastic forehands and backhands down the line. His serve looked good, and Andy looked as good as you can expect, really. As I say, with the length of time he's had off court, I thought he battled and competed against a top 20 player fantastically well, and it was a shame to see him struggling physically on that match tie break. It wasn't the Andy Murray that we're used to, but it is only exhibition events, so I'm sure, and Andy still got a chance today of getting to the semi-final, so I'm sure he was happy with his performance. So looking ahead to today, as I've said, we've got Paul Jubb against Ryan Penniston, and in my opinion, this is what these events are all about: getting 2 youngsters on court who a lot of fans haven't seen before, and watching them battle out, and hopefully, as I say, they bring the best tennis. Paul Jubb, a 21-year-old who was also studying in America, has just been awarded on the LTA scholarship programme, only around 21-year-old from Hull. And yeah, a player that's very exciting again, has a big future ahead of him, and he's been drafted in because Jay Clark has unfortunately had to withdraw through injury, similarly to Jack Draper. And yeah, if Penniston can turn up in the form he did yesterday, he's obviously got that advantage of playing one match. He's had a match now, so hopefully he's recovered well enough and he's used to the court. So I think you do have to favour Penniston because of that. So I will pick Penniston in 3 in that one, but I just hope it's a long and high quality match and people enjoy it and start following their careers. Match of the day is arguably Dan Evans against Cam Norrie. Dan Evans is, in my opinion, favoured for this tournament with his form of the past 18 to 24 months. He looked very good in his straight sets win the other day, and I think Norrie's done well. He played very well yesterday in the second and third set, and he's a top 100 player that's improving all the time. But I just see Dan Evans as just a level above players of that calibre at the moment. He's battling out with top 16 players, and in my opinion, Dan Evans was worthy of being in the top 20 before the lockdown. You know, he's changed up in pace. His backhand is, you know, arguably one of the best single-handed backhands in the sport at the moment. Definitely in the top 10, and he's got a very good serve. He's very consistent on all sides, and yeah, I see Dan Evans coming out on top in that one and progressing to the semi-finals. And lastly, you've got Andy Murray against James Ward, which is the biggest match of the day. It's whoever wins goes into that semi-final spot, and you obviously have to favour Andy Murray. You know, James Ward he's played well this week, but he's not on the same level as Andy Murray. And if Andy Murray's come out of yesterday's match well enough physically, then he will have too much for James, and he will progress to that semi-final. But at the moment, it's looking like it'll be Evans, Norrie, Edmund, and Murray to progress to semi-finals, which is as expected, and I'm sure we'll have two fantastic semi-finals, whoever's in the draw. Yeah, thanks for watching the video. I'll be doing another video tomorrow reviewing today's matches and also previewing the semi-finals. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.